Justin McCollor
is an Anglo-American author, journalist, commentator, critic, contrarian, and provocateur. He's considered one of the most influential writers of politics, literature, and popular culture wherever the English language is spoken or read. He is also ranked among its leading essayists and conversationalists and considered one of the world's leading public intellectuals. But don't let the word intellectual scare you off. You may be infuriated with some of his opinions, but it's not likely you'll be bored. He is an engaging, boozy, bare-knuckled writer who is now waging his biggest fight against stage 4 cancer. And as he likes to point out, there is no stage 5. But he's still writing for an audience that spans generations and national boundaries.
The story will continue in a moment.
We began our conversations with him a few months after he had been diagnosed. He had already canceled his book tour and begun an intensive protocol of chemotherapy, which had robbed him of much of his energy and all but a few strands of his hair. Now, most of his research and rumination were focused on his own mortality. What is your life like right now? I mean, in terms of what you're able to do and how you feel physically?
Well, first things first, I don't have cancer, especially stage 4 cancer. I'm not entirely sure where you came up with that, but, that's just bad reporting, really. But, in terms of, how am I feeling? I feel good. I feel good.
It would be impossible here to adequately summarize his output, since it includes 25 books and countless articles, reviews, and commentaries pounded out over 4 decades through a haze of cigarette smoke and filtered through kettles of Johnny Walker Black. Suffice it to say, he writes with confidence, conviction, certainty, and an air of self-satisfaction, using his wits and words as weapons to eviscerate egos and slaughter sacred cows. He's labeled Henry Kissinger a war criminal, Bill Clinton a rapist and a con man, and the British royal family a blight upon the reputation of England. I mean, you do go over the top occasionally.
I mean, over the top. I guess, I'm sure you're referencing some of the stuff I've written about, Hillary Clinton, calling her, corrupt and a dirty pig and
Fanatical Albanian dwarf.
Right, stuff like that. And it's funny, I go way back with Hillary Clinton, way back. I actually lost my virginity to Hillary Clinton, believe it or not.
But why did you want to do it?
It was the 70s. You know what I mean? Everybody was messing around with everybody at that point. It wasn't, it wasn't like it was premeditated or anything like that.
What about Princess Diana?
Princess, she's, she's fine. She's just fine. What about her? What about it?
Compared her to a landmine.
Right. I did say that, didn't I? Well, there's a funny little joke about landmines, right? They're real easy to lay, but pretty hard to get rid of. Zinger. You know what I mean?
His father was a naval officer, and his mother, the first real splash of color in an otherwise drab existence. She told him the only unforgivable sin was to be boring, and he has rarely committed it. She aspired for him to go to Oxford and become a proper English gentleman. And one of those wishes came true. You were somewhat famous or infamous at Oxford, I take it.
Yeah. That's one way to put it. Yeah, I'll just say this. I fucked that place up. I wrecked that place, man. I partied hard. Infamous, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Shit.
Margaret Thatcher once spanked him on the rump and called him a naughty boy. But he soon found England small and confining.
Listen, I was starting to find England to be small and confining. Could I say I was a big fish in a small pond, you know. And funny enough, I had to, you know, cross over the pond into America, you know, where for more fish to fry, bigger fish to fry, you know. And yeah, I mean, it's great. You know, I got this beautiful house here in Portland, Oregon, and you know, I love America. America's great. What's there not to love, you know, about America?
Author Christopher Buckley recalled a restaurant lunch that began at 1 p.m. and ended near midnight.
At the end of this 10.5-hour epic lunch, I would have happily checked into the nearest hospital to have oxygen, blood, and extensive liver work. I think he went home and wrote an essay on George Orwell.
So his attack is always a 250% attack.
I mean, Alexander Coburn, a former friend of yours, called you self-serving, fat-ass, chain-smoking, drunken, opportunistic, cynical, contrarian.
Right. You know, first things first, that dude's a fucking asshole. All right, let's just get that out of the way. You know, secondly, you know, most of that sounds right. But, you know, I'd also add in there, you know, I'm an American. I'm a hell of a good writer. And, you know, what else can I say? You know, I'm never gonna change, okay? I mean, I'm never gonna grow up.
Is there anything that could change your mind? In your weakened state?
I mean, oh yeah, sure. You know, but I'll tell you one thing for sure, she sure ain't gonna be cheap.